tomorrow's fight night, Nate, and let me tell you something. I am extremely excited for this fight, okay? We got Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares for the WBC Lightweight Championship. Now, I know what you guys are saying. A lot of you boxing fans know, like, Tiafimo is the undisputed lightweight champion. He does have a WBC belt. However, right now there's the franchise belt that Lopez has. There's the actual WBC belt that Devin Haney has. So technically, Tiafimo is undisputed, but that real WBC belt belongs to Devin Haney. But Devin Haney will be defending it against Jorge Linares. And this is going to be a really, really good fight, Nate. You know, both fighters are very, very good. You know, obviously, Devin Haney, he's still undefeated. He's one of those young lightweights coming up in the game. Obviously, you got him. You got Tiafimo Lopez. You got Gervonta Davis. And you got Ryan Garcia whenever he decides to come back because he decided to take a break away from boxing to focus on his mental health, which, by the way, best of luck to him on that. Let's get back to Devin Haney. Devin Haney, yeah, Nate, this is going to be Devin Haney's first test. I think first real test as a boxer. He's 25-0 with 15 knockouts. So when you're ready to look at the other lightweights in this division, out of all of them, he knocks out people the least. But I will say this: I think Devin Haney is the best one defensively. That's just my opinion. Guys that he has faced, notable guys is Alfredo Santiago. He's fought Gamboa, and honestly, Nate, Juan Carlos Burgos. And then when you're ready to look at it, Nate, I just don't think he's really been tested that much. You know, now Jorge Linares, he's been doing this for quite a bit. He's fought some pretty decent guys. Obviously, he's fought Lomachenko, who's obviously a very, very great fighter. He's fought Luke Campbell. He's fought Carlos Morales. So he's fought a lot of good guys. His record's 47-5. He has 29 wins by knockout, and all 5 of his losses came from knockout as well. But yeah, Nate, I mean, notable guys he's fought, he's defeated was Carlos Morales. He lost to Lomachenko. He beat Luke Campbell, which I mean that's a good win to have on your record right there. Look, here's what I'll say. Okay, when you look at the strengths between both these guys, right? Jorge Linares, again, that he's a powerful hitter. He really is, Nate. He's got strength in both those hands. He likes what I noticed from Jorge Linares is he has a good body shot. But what he really likes to do is he likes to put that jab to the body, and then he waits for the guy to lower his hands, and he'll come up with a knockout punch. And I do really like that. However, I just don't think that's going to work with Devin Haney because Devin Haney is he's so smart defensively that I think he's just going to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Like Devin Haney reminds me of like a Money Mayweather. You know, he's just he's a defensively good fighter, and it's really hard to take a crack at Devin Haney. It's really hard to do it. But you know what? A lot of lightweights, they don't see Devin Haney as a threat. Why? Because he's not knocking guys out. But let me tell you something. Out of all of them, Nate, this man might be the most poised defensively. No doubt about it. I think the way that this fight goes, I think Devin Haney by unanimous decision. I think Devin Haney is going to have a dominant performance for 12 rounds. And he said he's going to have a dominant performance. When Devin Haney says that, what I picture in my head is a one-sided fight, 12 rounds. There's your winner right there, Devin Haney. And again, this fight is big. And the reason why it's so big, Nate, is because the winner of this gets that WBC belt, which means if Linares does beat Devin Haney, that whole title picture changes. So instead of Lopez, who, by the way, is going to be fighting Cambosos, so instead of him fighting, Haney maybe after that, if he beats Cambosos, he might have to fight Linares because Linares has that belt. That's the thing. In order to be undisputed, and Lopez is, but in order to be literally undisputed, because a lot of people say Lopez is not undisputed because of that franchise belt, but in order for him to be undisputed, I think he has to get that regular belt. He already is undisputed, but I think just to shut everybody up once and for all, he needs to get that WBC belt. And this fight's important because whoever wins takes that WBC belt. So the way I look at it, I think Devin Haney, I think he puts a great defensive performance. I think he proves that he is one of the best lightweights in this division. I think he beats him. I think he beats him again. I think he dominates him for probably 10 out of the 12 rounds. I could see Jorge kind of like rocking him a little bit, or giving him like one crack, and like Devin Haney gets affected by that. But overall, I got Devin Haney win this fight by a 12-round unanimous decision, and he will retain his WBC lightweight belt because that's what Devin Haney does.
Mario, I got the same thing. I got Devin Haney winning by unanimous decision as well. This one was a tough run for me, because both are great strikers. Both are very quick. Like you said, Devin Haney doesn't really knock people out, but his defense is absolutely amazing, which is very true. But I think that's what's going to help him win at the end of the day. You know, we always talk about how defense wins games, defense wins fights, or whatever the scenario is, and that's very
Right.
true. You know what I mean?
Hey, let me tell you, so the defense got Floyd Mayweather to 50-0. So
Oh yeah, absolutely, guy. Like, let me tell you something. Defense is the most important part of sports, guys. You got to remember that. Like, you can have, like in baseball, you can have the biggest bats in the world, but if you ain't got that defense, you ain't winning no games. In football, you could have the most gunslinging arm, Patrick Mahomes style. You could have those nice hands with Tyreek Hill, but if you ain't got that defense, you ain't going nowhere. Same thing with hockey. You can have that nice stick with the puck, but you ain't got that defense, you ain't going nowhere. You get what I mean? You get where I'm coming from? In
right, and
boxing, you can have the strongest punch, but if you ain't got the defense, you ain't winning nothing.
right, and I think out of all these guys, and this is no insult to Devin Haney. If anything, it is a compliment. Okay, I think out of all these lightweights, you know, the top ones right now, you look at Gervonta Davis, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia. Out of all of them, now watch what I'm about to say. Okay, but this is a compliment. Trust me. He is, I think, the most boring. Not him in general, though. Okay, not him in general. His fights are the most boring, but the reason why they're so boring is because he's so dominant. Because he's keeping the guy in there for 12 rounds, but he's dominating them all 12 rounds. That's the way Devin Haney fights right there. These are the guys. If you look at Gervonta Davis, like obviously he put to sleep Leo Santa Cruz. You look at Ryan Garcia and his knockout against Luke Campbell recently. You look at Teofimo Lopez's performances. And again, he had a good fight against Lomachenko as well. But when you look at Devin Haney, the reason why we always talked about a lot of people, how many times have you heard back when Floyd was fighting, how many times have you heard guys say, or especially old-fashioned boxing fans who'd be like, this is a boring fight. Remember the Manny Pacquiao fight between him and Manny Pacquiao? Remember how everybody was so hyped about it? And then you heard a lot of people saying this was a boring fight. We got ripped off. You remember? The reason why they felt that way is because Floyd dominated them. I'm going to be real. If you guys don't believe that, or a lot of people are going to say, a lot of Floyd haters are going to say, well, it's because he hit him and he ran around the ring. But look, listen, it's because guys like Devin Haney, they're so good defensively that it just, again, the other guy doesn't do anything. It doesn't produce fireworks because it's so lopsided. And that's what Devin Haney does. Defensively, he is a very good fighter. He can knock people out if he wants to, Nate. He has 15 knockouts. If he wants to knock somebody out, he will. But he knows, look, I can go 12 rounds with these people, with these guys. A lot of these guys who have 20 wins, 17 knockouts, they only been to the 12th round 3 times. I've been to the 12th round 10. So when you really look at it, I like the way Devin Haney fights. I really do. Because if it ever came to a 12-round fight, you best believe Devin Haney's going to be conditioned to go 12 rounds. These lightweights, they can go 12 rounds, but how many times have they done it? You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. And Linares, again, a very veteran fighter. And this is why I think this is going to be the first test for him, because Linares has gone the distance a lot of times. Linares has fought a lot of great fighters like Luke Campbell and Vasily Lomachenko. But at the end of the day, I think Devin Haney, I think not him in general, but his fights, I think a lot of them, when you look at them, I think when it's like unanimous decision, I think a lot of I think when I look at it, I'm like, you know what? These aren't as exciting as the other lightweights, but it's because he's so dominant. And that's what I truly believe. And it's no disrespect to him. If anything, it's a compliment because he's so dominant. And then don't get me wrong, his TKOs, they really are exciting as well. So look, I really do like Devin Haney. You know, I think he is one of the most underlooked lightweights in this game. I think the lightweight division is stacked, to be honest with you, Nate. But looking at it, I got Devin Haney by unanimous decision. He's probably going to win 10 out of 12 rounds. And I think he's going to retain his WBC belt. And then if Lopez beats Kambosos, there's only one fight to make, Nate, and that's Haney versus Lopez.
He says he wants to fight Ryan Garcia as well, but again, like you mentioned, that he's dealing with his mental health.
It's like a break from boxing, which again, you know, I wish him the best of luck. His mental health is really serious, and
absolutely, I wish him the best of luck.
I think they will get to it, but as of now, I think he needs to get Haney first. I think he needs to fight Haney first. I think Haney needs to fight. I think Haney needs to fight Teofimo Lopez to prove who's the real undisputed champion. You know. So with that being said, again, I wish Devin Haney and Jorge Linares the best of luck. Again, no disrespect to Jorge Linares. Again, great fighter. I just think Devin Haney's defensively is going to beat him. I think it's too much.
Absolutely.
So
and before you end it, I just want to say this fight's going to be on tomorrow night. The event starts at 8 p.m., but the fight should start around 11:15. It's going to be on Dazn, so make sure you go check that out. Best of luck to both fighters.
Right. And same thing. Best of luck to both fighters. I think it's going to be a very good fight. I can't wait to watch it, Nate.